Let's see, when was the last time I actually uploaded some decent content? It appears I never had any decent content. Well, time to start doing it. Roll the intro! What actually happened in those 3 years when I was gone? It appears the entire world has gone to shit. Trump became president and wants to fight North Korea, Turkey is fighting amongst themselves, and the citizens of the Netherlands were never disunited as one. But let's move on to the virtual world, where things actually make sense. Introducing Ashes of Creation. Yes, I'm actually joining the hype train, a game that came out at the dark by a few YouTubers as this guy, and of course this guy, and many others. But what is Ashes of Creation? Let's talk about that. Ashes is a unique take on a new MMO world. What the developers want is to get rid of the static NPC content that we know in MMOs today, and create a diverse world where players actually matter. Because let's be honest, when did you actually matter in an MMO? Let's start with probably the best and unique feature in Ashes. The world is separated in different parts. These parts are considered nodes. But Defeaten, what exactly are nodes? Well, I'm glad you asked. Nodes at the start of the game do not exist anywhere in the world. Once a lot of player activity is detected near a node, and nodes start developing and become an expedition. Every time a player does anything in the nearby node, may this be hunting, gathering or mining, or whatever you do in your spare time, this activity will develop the node further, making the town grow larger and larger until eventually unlocking the metropolis stage. Of course, it takes a very long time. This could even take weeks and weeks, because the metropolis is the last stage and there are 6 levels of nodes. In these player-developed cities, player can buy houses and add specific add-ons to their buildings. This could be crafting stations or decorations or whatever weird stuff you want in your house. I of course am not the one to judge. Players can create trade routes between these nodes, creating safe trade alliances between guilds and cities. Who am I kidding? Everyone is gonna kill each other anyway. Because these cities can also be laid siege upon by one of your biggest enemies. How the siege systems works is still not really fleshed out, but I'll keep you updated. But let's talk PvP for a second, since me, myself and I is a very big fan of when it comes to PvP content. How will PvP actually work in Ashes? The very first introduction to PvP will be the decaying system. A player can fight himself in one of the 3 stages: 1 green, 2 purple and 3 red. The system is actually very simple. All players by default are green. Once a green member attacks a green member, they become purple. Players are encouraged to fight back against purple players, because death penalties will be reduced once the defender is a purple player. However, if a purple player kills a green player, they eventually become corrupt, or aka red. Red players are essentially outlaws, and the easiest way to get rid of corruption is death. If a red player dies, they have a high chance of dropping their own gear. Yes, their gear. And this is very likely because green players that attack red players will not become purple, so as a corrupt player you must be a really good PvPer if you want to survive and thrive. Another introduction to the PvP system is probably the caravan system. In Ashes, caravans revolve around trading between nodes. Caravans transfer the goods of players to different nodes in their region, turning it into a profit or for crafting purposes. These caravans are of course also a big hunt for players, since players can destroy the caravans and make the loot their own. Buying NPC guards will also be a thing in Ashes, but I mean, come on. You're better off hiring a chicken, because of course it's AI. All jokes aside, guards can be hired, and according to studios, they are not to be taken lightly with. And for people that are wondering, fast traveling will almost be non-existent, so everyone has to go on foot or of course a mount. For crafters, caravans are a must-have experience because of the way the crafting is designed. Basically all nodes are divided into tiers. In tier 1 for example you could gather bronze ore. In region 2 you can create this ore in a bronze bar, and in tier 3 areas you can craft this bronze bar into armor or something else that you actually need. Depending on the resources, this could be a very tricky situation, since you would have to make use of the caravan system all the time, making PvP almost unavoidable if you are on a heavy PvP server. Of course this is a very basic explanation of the system, so it's a lot more detailed than this. But I am a man of few words, so moving on. Moving on to the business model. Ashes will have a subscription-based model. Right now they are talking about $15 a month, but of course it is still subject to change, as well as everything else in this video. Just FYI. However, it is already confirmed that there will be no box price, so paying the monthly subscription is enough to sustain. Keep in mind that trying out the game is still a possibility, since the game will have a trial period of 30 days. And for people that want to back this game up, the Kickstarter is on May the 1st. This was my very short introduction to Ashes. The very first alpha of the game will be under NDA, so I cannot create any videos about that. And an NDA is of course the very first rule of Fight Club. And what rule is that, you say? Well, I'm not allowed to talk about it. Thank you for watching my latest video. I left a lot of information out because most information is speculation. This is also my very first time I actually did live commentary on a video, so I hope you enjoyed. And if you have any comments on how I can do it better or different, leave a comment and I'll be sure that my agent gets a hold of you.